Hello everyone, this is the first wrap-up of 2021. Welcome to my January wrap-up, and in the month of January I have read 6 physical books, like hard copies, and then I've listened to 6 audiobooks. So I've read 12 books altogether. Let's start with the first one, which I kind of listened to as an audiobook as well, but I've kind of read the physical copy, and that is Nostromo by James Conrad. Whew, I got through this. Well, this was on my currently reading list for a couple of years. I don't know if it was 3 or 4, but it was there for a long time because I just didn't touch it. I started reading it and kind of left it. But this month, this was the first book of 2021 because I thought this year I will wrap up everything. I will read all the books that I start. I will not be I will do all those things. So I did finish it. This book kind of reminded me a little bit, the atmosphere and the scene kind of reminded me of Love at the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, because it was also set in the Caribbean. But it was about a silver mine, and then this guy Nostromo, who is a ship guy, and then there is silver that is being stolen, and then what happens, to the treasure. So it was kind of good, but honestly, the audiobook version just helped me so much because I listened to that while I was reading it. And it's a long one, you guys. It's almost 500 pages. It was something to go through, but I'm just glad I did it. So first book of 2021. Yay! The second book was an audiobook because I felt I needed to just lighten up a little bit. And I had listened to Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them by J.K. Rowling. And to go back to the Harry Potter magic world is always such an adventure, and I always just so love it. Actually, I'm wearing this weird sweater which is off the shoulder and it's kind of weird, but never mind. So I really loved it, and that was a book that made me laugh out loud sometimes because the beasts are just so amazing, and then description of them and what they want to do and what they won't do. They have personalities there usually, so that's always lovely. I absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars since it made me laugh out loud. So yeah. Then My Family and Other Animals, Gerard Durrell. Amazing. I'm sure that it's quite famous. Many people know this. This is a good book and a famous book for a reason. This is a perfect family read. You can read it with, with children. You can read it to your parents. You can read it with anyone. This is so perfect. The family moves to Greece from England, from, cloudy, foggy England. They move to sunny, hot Greece. And then all of the animals and the plants and the flowers, and I just loved it. And they keep moving house, and the description of the houses. It's all of the things I live for, and it's funny. It really is funny. This is also laugh out loud. Loved it. I kind of read it in a couple of days. It was so much fun, 2 or something. Then finally this one, The Haunting of Hill House. This wasn't on my TBR because I think I had a copy somewhere else and I couldn't find it, but honestly, this was something else that I kind of promised myself I would read. And I started reading this on Christmas Day, on the 25th. And I just wanted to finish some other things, so I just left it for 2021. But I just picked it up. I read it. This is amazing. This is the reason why I read. Books like this is a reason why I read. The atmosphere, the setting, the scene for all the horrors to come, and the characters and how they just gang up, and the foreshadowing of what is going to happen. So actually the ending did not exactly surprise me. This is such a perfect haunted house story, probably the best that I've read so far. Amazing work. 5 stars, honestly. Then I had listened to Four to Score by Janet Ivanovich, which is the 4th Stephanie Plum book. I really, guys, I've read 3 before, and I just keep saying the same thing. It's gonna be a pattern because I have another Agatha Raisin, which will be the same thing I say about, which will be a book that, is always amazing. These series of books are so amazing. I just really only can repeat myself and say that they are amazing, funny, and I love those women to death. Stephanie Plum is always just lifting me up when I'm listening to it. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'm just always feeling better because I love her so much. Then I went in for a Hungarian copy. This is a Hungarian book. Így szerettek ők by Nyári Krisztián. And what it translates into, the way they loved. And this is a book about the love lives of artists, of Hungarian artists, meaning poets, painters, writers, like authors, graphical designers, you know, all of those people that we actually did learn about in school. Like most of them are like very famous. I could compare them to probably even, I don't know, like Steinbeck or Dickens or Wilkie Collins, even Shakespeare, even though it doesn't date back that far, but kind of far, you know, probably the 1800s was the earliest story, one of the earliest stories. And this book did get me down a little bit because most of these stories are kind of bizarre and kind of disturbing. Like their love lives were kind of disturbing at times, like the age difference or the sicknesses or the infidelity, divorcing, getting married again. You know, these were not exactly stable people that we're talking about. They were geniuses. Therefore, you know, they had all the difficulty dealing with life as a whole. It was a little bit depressing, yet so interesting. So I've got through this as well. Plus, it's a beautiful, look how pretty, such a beautiful book. Then I had listened to, a book by a person whom I read about in that book, and that is Tanár úr kérem by Karinti Frigyes, which means Professor Please, or Please Professor. And it is a book about school, about going back to school. Basically, the author kind of dreams about being a little boy again and having to go to school and just reliving the memories and then just evaluating everything as a grown-up and considering different aspects of school life, girls and the gangs, the cliques. I'm hitting myself on the chin. Anyways, the teachers, you know, the parents, and then later he's a parent himself and he has to go to his son's school. He has to teach his son. You know, it's about all aspects of school and school life. And funny, it is a funny book. It's a lighter read. It's kind of lighter, even from him, like as an author, because sometimes he's more difficult, but this was perfect. This was light. It was fun, funny. I think I listened to it like one afternoon. It wasn't long at all, but it was just really, really easy to listen to, so I loved it. Then staying on a school lane, I don't know why I had this month. I had listened to Tom Brown's School Days by Thomas Hughes, and it was amazing, but I have to say 90% of its awesomeness was because Rowan Atkinson, Johnny English, Mr. Bean, the Blackadder, you know, that guy, he's amazing. I love Blackadder though, like Blackadder the Third is the best, but you know, that's just a side note. His voice is amazing. I loved listening to him. It was such a cool story about, you know, a guy going to like a school, like a boarding school, and all the fun and all the fun he has and all the mischiefs he gets into, and then he's kind of becoming more serious. You know, it was a fun school story, but I'm telling you, Rowan Atkinson just made it like 100 times better. So yay, just for Rowan Atkinson, I'm telling you alone. 5 stars. There is just no month to go by, I think, from now on without at least one of these. Well, until I finish the series. Agatha Raisin, His and Hers. There is nothing more to say about this. I always say the same thing, how much I love her, because honestly, Agatha Raisin is the queen of the village mystery. It kind of says it on the cover. So good. This is my favorite type of cozy mystery book, and I'm not holding it up properly. MC Beaton is a genius. I love her so much. I always just go back to the world, to the Cotswolds. Hopefully I know how to say it. I would really need to listen to Josie, the fashion mumbler, because she lives there. But anyways, I just love these books so much. Agatha Raisin is always amazing, fun, never a dull page. Loved it, 5 stars, always. Love Agatha Raisin, highly recommend. Then, as a surprise, I had listened to Ella Enchanted. And at first, I didn't even realize what I was listening to because I listened to that in Hungarian. And it was, the title was translated quite weirdly, and the title was the Chorus Girl or something, so I didn't really realize what it was until, you know, I listened to it and kind of it sounded familiar because I've seen the movie. So I was like, oh, MG, this is amazing that I'm listening to this. And I just loved it so much. A retelling of Cinderella. Cinderella was my favorite, like, fairy tale as a child anyway. She is my favorite princess. I just, you know, Cinderella is my girl. And Ella Enchanted, Ella, Cinderella, you know, you get it, all right? Anyways, it was so amazing. It was so interesting. It was exciting. Ella Enchanted, 5 stars. 5 stars. Then, just to get myself down, honestly, I listened to Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche. I don't know. I hope I say that kind of not that bad, but... you guys, it was long. First of all, it was so long. I kind of did write a few quotes in my little notebook here, so I could quote them for you. Happiness to a man is, I can. Happiness to a woman is, he can. Right? Okay, male chauvinist much, honestly. Marriage is, I mean, I am married, so, you know, here is my point of view. This is a quote, like, when I remember to, like, write them down, I did. Marriage, 2 animals entwined in struggle. Right? Yeah, that's what marriage is. That's just another thing. Sick equals selfishness. And I'm going to hospital this month to have a cyst removed from my belly. And I can tell you I am not being selfish about it at all. It's just wrong. Like, it's wrong, but okay. Sooner believe in a man on the moon than a woman. Man was on the moon. Just saying. Just saying. This is just fun. That's just saying. I have a good one. Pleasant things in the world. Women's breast. Useful at the same time. Pleasant. What? Like, it's for you to enjoy, beach. Okay, I really cannot with him. He had like a few good things. Like, all living things are obeying things. That cannot obey itself is commanded. That's kind of like a fun thing to think about. And commanding is more difficult than obeying. You know, that was kind of a fun thing to think about. But, so anyway, I did not like it. I think I gave it 2 stars. Just because I got through it, and it was a huge thing. It's a huge deal. You have to read it. It's on every list. But no. But anyway, wrapping this part up. The last book that I read is a physical book, and this is I, Claudius by Robert Graves. And this was a huge one. I mean, this is also nearly 500 pages, and it's just densely packed, honestly. And it's full of historical facts, politics, personal stories, letters, quotes. It is something. It's exciting, it's interesting, but it is a little bit difficult to get through because it's so dense with history. And I like it. I like history. I was really into reading a historical book, but it was something. Though it was really good, it's really enjoyable. I highly recommend it. Even though it's kind of disappointing that it is about Claudius, yet he's hardly in it because he's writing it. It's first person. He gets to be the ruler on the last page of the book. I'm kind of ruined it for you, so probably won't. So it's really good. It's really eventful, to say the least. So highly recommend. A tiny bit of a channel update. As I've said in this video, I am going to hospital the week after the next one. So I'll be there on the 15th because I have an operation, and it's going to be, unfortunately, quite a major operation. So I don't know how I'll be able to upload videos, but I think next week I'll still be able to do something, and then I'm just not sure. So please be patient with me, but at least I hope I'll have time to read in the hospital, and also when I'll be at home, like trying to get better in bed, I'll get through a lot of books. So I'm excited for next month wrap up. And that was it. This is everything, you guys. I hope you like this, and until the next time, read something, you guys. Bye bye.